Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Mark Labbett, known to millions as the Beast on The Chase, spent years building a reputation as one of the most formidable quiz minds on television. Towering at 6'6" with a thunderous intellect to match, he could silence even the cockiest contestants with a single raised eyebrow and a devastatingly correct answer. But off-screen, Mark's life was a whirlwind of emotion, decisions, and a romance that defied the norm and ultimately cracked under its own weight. It all began quietly, far from the flashing lights of studio sets and applause of quiz-hungry audiences. In 2010, at a family gathering in Wales, Mark met Katie, a vivacious, smart, and bubbly woman with an infectious laugh and a kindness that disarmed even his most stoic instincts. They chatted for hours over cups of tea and roast dinners, oblivious to the murmurs of distant relatives. Only later would the truth come to light. Katie was his second cousin. When they discovered their relation, there was hesitation, but the heart doesn't work on logic. For Mark, who had spent most of his adult life focused on books and buzzers, connection had always been rare. Here was someone who not only understood him, but saw the man beyond the beast. For Katie, Mark was a gentle giant, a man who could be soft-spoken and shy, who remembered the tiniest details and made her feel safe. In 2014, they married. The ceremony was quiet, with only close friends and family, some of whom cast sideways glances, unsure of how to interpret the unusual union. But Mark and Katie were undeterred. He often joked in interviews, "We didn't know we were related at first, though I suppose the Christmas cards should have been a clue." For a time, life was blissful. They welcomed a son together, and Mark seemed transformed. The Beast was now a dad, rolling on the carpet with toy dinosaurs and learning bedtime lullabies instead of quiz questions. Katie managed the household and supported Mark through his struggles with diabetes and fluctuating weight, always with a calm resilience. But under the surface, fault lines began to appear. Mark's work schedule grew relentless, flying across the UK for filming, interviews, and public appearances. He was away more than he was home. Katie, still in her 20s, often found herself raising their son largely alone. The age gap, Mark being nearly 15 years older, began to loom larger in their day-to-day life. Interests diverged, silences grew heavier, and conversations shorter. Then came whispers of infidelity, of loneliness, of a love stretched too thin. In 2020, after months of therapy and long, tearful talks, they made the heart-wrenching decision to separate. "We remain a family," Mark said in a statement. "Our son comes first, and we'll always be there for him." The words were dignified, but the pain beneath them was real. For Mark, the split was not just the end of a marriage, but the unraveling of a rare connection, one that had made him feel human in a world that saw him only as a quiz machine. He admitted in interviews that the breakup hit him harder than expected. "It was the right thing," he'd say, eyes distant, but that doesn't make it hurt any less. Today, they co-parent their son with care and respect. Katie has remained largely out of the spotlight, while Mark continues to dominate quiz shows worldwide. But he carries the lessons of that love, complicated, courageous, and imperfect, with him. Love, after all, isn't about perfect answers. Sometimes it's about the questions it leaves behind and how you grow after them. This story is a dramatized retelling based on public facts and should be read as a creative narrative, not a documentary account.